Alright, so this is going to be a quick little review of my Atmos gear skate experience. A little bit about me: I do a lot of aggressive skating, I also do some off-road skating, and I do big wheel and slalom skating as well. I'm also completely obsessed with personal electric vehicles. I build them, I mod them, and I don't know how many I have. I stopped counting because I considered that unhealthy. And I live downtown Seattle where there's a lot of hills. That's the convention center right there, and if you've ever been here, you know there's a lot of hills. So what are these good for? If you have nice, flat, smooth trails, like you're going out to skate, like a waterfront where it's all paved and everything's happy, these are super fun to just have the remote, rip around. They feel way more like skates than any other electric skates I've tried, which the only other one I tried were the Ascend, and those felt like I was walking in moon shoes. I also just changed the wheel, tire, rim, whatever you call it, on this thing, and that went super easy. The build quality seems really nice. However, there is an issue with the motors. They will kind of click side to side, and I think that's just the tolerances on the bearings. No matter how tight you make them this way, it's not going to stop them from clicking and slipping a little bit. So I don't know how long they'll last if you're really pushing them hard. But otherwise, the build quality on everything has seemed really nice, solid, and pretty happy with that part. I think they did a great job trying to make blades electric. The pouch and battery setup that it comes with, not super heavy. It's comfortable. You can ride with it. You can have fun. I wasn't a huge fan of these stretchy cables, so I made straight cables later. I wasn't a huge fan of that either, but it's totally fine. One thing that I absolutely love is that the stock controller is based on the open source VESC controller, which I've actually written some of the source code for, a small part. Mainly Ben Vetter does amazing work with these, and so this whole platform is open. You can mod it and do whatever you want with it, and that's what I did. So let's talk about that. This was the stock setup I did. So the stock pack is like 7 or 8 cells in series. I ran 20 cells in series, so 84 volts, way faster. So I had 2 storm cores. I was able to hook up a Bluetooth module to one and the remote to the other so that I can actually monitor myself on an app. And then I created these sort of straight cables that can handle a lot more current, because when I was pushing it hard, the stock setup would heat up. So the stock setup was running, I think I had 13 amps max per motor, which is, you know, really gentle and chill. People aren't hardcore rollerbladers can handle that, and it's super fun, but that is not getting you up a steep hill. So on these, I kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it till I can go up and down hills, and that took around 40 amps. The problem with that was that the motors would get pretty hot really quick, and in Seattle, it's cold weather out here. It was like 60 degrees outside, and these things were heating up. The other issue I had was that with that amount of torque, you start to wear down the middle wheels really quick. And so you can see I only used it like twice, and this middle wheel got worn down to the point where it no longer gripped between these two, or it started to slip, and then once it starts to slip, it just does a burnout and wears itself to death. I don't think that's going to be a huge issue with 10 amps, but when you're running quadruple that, and going up and down hills on rough sidewalk with cracks and stuff like that, it's going to wear down super quick. The solution to that would be to have the drive wheel in the back. And when I talked to, I think his name's Amido, who runs Atmos gear, he was saying he has a frame with a rear wheel drive, and they were planning on releasing it. Hopefully he's still planning on doing that. So if you did want to mod this, what I would do is get one with the drive wheel in the back. And then no matter how much this wears down, you'll still have contact, and you can also just take out your middle wheel, run a 2-wheel setup, which not ideal, but at least you'll have power. But between the wheels wearing down super quick, and the other problem is that with 40 amps on each foot, enough to actually rip you up a strong hill, it's just not fun to ride. It feels like you're dying all the time, because anytime one foot has a different in pavement and there's all these cracks and going up and down things trying to go through an urban environment, your feet just want to pull apart from each other, and you feel like you're constantly wrestling a bull with the high power. And so I got to experience electric rollerblades, and I don't think that electric rollerblades should exist. I think that once you have enough power to make these into something really cool, you just can't ride them. No, I don't think any amount of traction control between the two skates and throttle curves would help deal with just how horrible the streets are. If you're going on a nice smooth path, I think, you know, maybe if you up them from 13 amps to 20 amps, they'd probably run okay and still be fun. But once you're getting to like 40 amps, it's just like, why am I doing this? It's just, I mean, I rollerblade a lot, and I felt like I was dying the whole time. I looked like an idiot, like trying to hang on for my dear life. So yeah, that's why I'm getting rid of them. But something else I wanted to talk about is that these motors are just three-phase motors, which obviously but there's no Hall sensor and there's no temperature sensor. But what I was able to do with the higher voltage ESC, not on the stock 7S setup, and maybe the higher power one that he's selling, I think he's selling like a 10 or 11S version, you can get high frequency injection running where it just makes a really loud noise, but it gets full position tracking at 0 speed. It was really tricky to get it to work, and I'm still not sure it was working perfectly, because once I think I had it dialed, my motors just started spinning, and so I couldn't tell what was going on. But I'm pretty sure I had it working perfectly. And then, because the way it comes stock, basically, because there's no position tracking, you have to skate to like 2 miles an hour or 4 miles an hour so that it knows where it is based on where it was previously. It can tell electrically and just sort of guess. But if you want to stop on a hill, if you just want to rip down a hill and come to a full stop and just hold your position, you can't do that without Hall sensors unless you get high frequency injection working. And with a higher voltage setup, I was able to do that, but it took a lot of tuning, and it's not for beginners, but it is possible, which is super cool. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about these. I wanted to film this video because I keep getting recommended videos on YouTube of like Atmos gear reviews, and I doubt any of them are saying what I'm saying. I didn't watch them. They probably don't know as much as I do about this stuff. So yeah, I'm selling these. I just put on the fresh wheels. I'm gonna reset them to stock, put in the stock controllers, and put them at a reasonable power value, and hopefully whoever gets them will have fun and cruise on nice simple trails and enjoy them. But for me, I've got way better electric vehicles, and if I'm skating down a trail that's flat, I don't really need electric. And I never skate down a flat trail anyway. I ride my one wheels everywhere. If I'm skating, I'm in a rink, or I'm in a skate park, or I'm at something where I'm skating with friends, a downhill or whatever. So I just don't see these filling a need for me. And once I've actually experienced high power electric skates, I don't have any hope for me ever going back to electric skates. I mean, also these hard wheels skating around town, it's rough, and when you're trying to do it electric where you're just cruising without thinking, it's even worse. I think if anything was to work, it would be pneumatic wheels like these on my e-skates, that e-skate too, where I think a two-wheeled setup, rear-wheel drive, and I've seen there's a brand that's making like electric ski type things like that, but they're just so big and heavy. I don't think they'd be fun. And yeah, I think part of what makes these magical and fun is how close they are to just normal skates. You can like pick your feet up and feel like you're free and you're actually skating. But if it's not enough power for me to actually do anything other than drive to a place where I can use them, I don't need to do that. You saw what I have. I got other things I can ride. So yeah, that's about it. That's my review. But I think these are super cool, amazing work what they've done with them. I wish the motors didn't click side to side. Other than that, I wish they included a Bluetooth module in the controller. I know the VEST tool is really complicated. At least they could have had a pin out so advanced users can put one in and get some real-time data. But other than that, it's, you know, it is what it is. It's a super cool product, but not for me, not for, I think, people who think they're going to rip around up hills and through a super dense urban environment. But I also don't skate in the city at all because I think it's insane, and there are people who do it. So, you know, maybe there is somebody who would be happy in an urban environment with it, but I don't know. The people who are happy in an urban environment, I don't think any of them want electric skates. They want to battle the environment. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, leave comments if you got any questions about technical stuff or how to mod them or whatever. Be happy to answer stuff. There's probably a bunch of things I forgot to say. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, one last thing I thought I'd just show off. I 3D printed these little 90-degree booty angles for my MT30 plugs, so I could just have them be the same right angle like the stock connectors. And then I wanted to run these inside my pants. The spirally cables at 40 amps running down the inside of my pants got so hot they were making my legs uncomfortable and sketching me out.